Namaste dear students. I am Basavaraj Bilgi, Assistant Professor of English, Government Postgrad College, Irigatti. Today, uh, I would like to discuss with you people one of the short stories which is prescribed for the first semester Rani Channamma University, Belagavi. The title of the story is My Lost Dollar. The story is written by one of the English humorists who lived in 19th century. The name of the writer is called Stephen Leacock, who is called as one of the best humorists of his contemporary time by many critics as well speakers. He was an English teacher and he wrote some books which are full of humor and laughter. Uh, Stephen Leacock lived in the time of 19th century and he was very much influenced by his contemporary society. The present story is about two people. One is the narrator and another one is a good friend of the narrator called Mr. Todd. The story is narrated from the viewpoint of the first person, and the story is about an incident which happens in the life of the writer. It is all about that incident, that particular incident, and the story is written to bring about humor and laughter among the readers. One day, Mr. Todd was about to go to Bermuda, and the narrator gives company to Mr. Todd till the railway station. Both of them go to the railway station and they hired a taxi. And when they are in the railway station, Mr. Todd asks the narrator to give him change of $1. Even though he had lot of money, he did not have $1 change. That is the reason why Mr. Todd asks the narrator to give him $1, and the narrator lends $1 happily because Mr. Todd is a good friend of him, and when the narrator gives $1, he had in his mind that he will get back his $1 by Mr. Todd. But the things which happen after the narrator gives Mr. Todd $1 are very interesting, and they bring about laughter in us, laughter in readers. I would like to narrate the story as it is written by the short story writer. My friend, Mr. Todd owes me $1. My friend, Mr. Todd owes me $1. I think he has almost forgotten that he had got $1 from me. And I believe that it is quite common for human beings to forget about the loans which are less in amount. Mr. Todd and I are very good friends till today, and the dollar which Mr. Todd has taken from me hasn't brought about any harm to our friendship. our friendship very warm as it was before he got $1 from me. Let me tell you the incident what happened 1 year ago. On the 8th of April, my friend Mr. Todd was about to go to Bermuda, and I went with him till the railway station to drop him, and we hired a taxi. And after reaching the railway station, Mr. Todd realized that he did not have $1 change in his pocket. That's when he asked me to give him $1, to lend him $1. And I happily lent $1 because he was a good friend of mine, and I hoped that he would return my dollar after coming back from Bermuda. After reaching Bermuda, Mr. Todd sent me a telegram, and I was expecting my dollar to be there in the packet which was sent by Mr. Todd. But I did not find my dollar. He did not send the dollar in that letter. However, he shared his experiences of his stay in Bermuda, and he says in the letter that it is 100 degrees Celsius heat in Bermuda, which was little awkward to me, and I was not interested in the things which are happening with the Todd in Bermuda, but I was interested in my dollar. But I did not find it in the letter, and I was little disappointed. After spending 2 weeks in Bermuda, Todd was about to come back from Bermuda, and I went to the railway station to receive him. Not because I lent him $1 when he was going to Bermuda, but I went there, I went to receive him because of our good relationship, because of our friendship. And when he came out of the railway station, I offered him to take a taxi back to home, but he refused and said, "No, we will not hire the taxi, we will walk." That's what Mr. Todd told to me. After coming home, in the evening, we spent together that evening, and we went to a club. We had drinks there, we ate snacks there, but my friend did not remember that he has supposed to give me $1. That's what made me little more disappointed. And every now and then I and Mr. Todd meet in our club. Every day, every alternative day, we meet and we chat, we drink tea, we eat snacks together. But Mr. Todd doesn't remember that he owes me $1, which again disappoints me a little more. After some days, when we were sitting in a club on a table, we were enjoying the evening snacks, and Mr. Todd unconsciously told me that Poland is the country which doesn't return its debts. And I was little disappointed because The person who is not ready to return my $1 is talking about a country called Poland, which doesn't returns its debts. That's what made me little more disappointed. And on that day, when we were walking on the pavements, I asked him what kind of currency is in Bermuda. And I also asked him, does American dollar is in circulation in Bermuda? I put a little emphasis on American dollar, hoping that he would remember my $1. But it was not like that. He doesn't remember my $1. And he says, no, I have almost forgotten about my stay in Bermuda because it was not that eventful, he says. And then I decided that my friend Mr. Todd has forgotten that I have given him $1. And one day I sat on a table and prepared a list of the people who owes me a little amount, little money. I had made a list, and I included Mr. Todd also in that list of the people who owes me $1 or $2. And I also thought about my own character, and then I realized that I too have got $1 or $2 from many of my friends, but I am not ready to return those dollars to my friends at the time when I and Mr. Todd are in the club where we meet every day. I get a painful thought that Mr. Todd has forgotten my $1. But that doesn't mean to our friendship. We are very much close, and we spend time together. We love to spend time together. We like to chat together. But all the while, all the time, that $1 haunts me time and again. That $1 which I lent to Mr. Todd comes back to my mind, and it brings about a different kind of thought in my mind. And when I think about the people who owes small amount of money, I must also think about myself. As I told you, I have lot of friends who are very good to me, and I have also taken little help from my friends a lot of times. And I am not that kind of person who remembers that little help by my friends because they are helping their own friend. That's how I forget those little amounts, those little dollars. But I am not ready to forget my dollar which I have given to Mr. Todd. And I am a kind of person who is very happy in the company of my friends. Whenever I go to the ground for some evening walk, I meet a friend of mine in the ground, and after we walk for half an hour, we will go to a shop and we will drink plain soda. And I'm very happy that my friend offers me the plain soda, and he readily spends 30 cents on the plain soda. But it never came to my mind that I have to share my part in that 30 cents, because we are good friends, and it is quite common. And I have also forgotten many parties which have been given by my friends. Every now and then we had parties in clubs, and my friends give the charge, give the bill. But I am not bothered about all those things because we are good friends. But I all the time remembers $1 which I have given to my friend Mr. Todd, and I am not ready to forget it. If I try to forget it, a kind of pain comes in my mind. Meanwhile, I thought that it is very necessary for us to start a movement, and I would like to take a lead in starting that movement, which I call Back to Honesty movement. I would like to tell you people that every great nation has built upon the bricks of honesty. We have to be honest to our friends, we have to be honest to our parents, we have to be honest to our country. Then only we can build a beautiful nation. This what I believe. But do not talk about me. I have lot of debts, lot of little debts which I am not willing to return, because I am not that kind of person. And I also want to start telling people that it is very necessary for us to be honest in matters of money and debts. At the end, I would like to request you people, I would like to request the leaders not to tell about this story to Mr. Todd, or please do not take this story to any library and forget it there. If he comes to know about the mental trauma which I went through because of that $1, he might be disappointed. And that is the reason why I request you people not to forget this story in Montreal library. Thank you very much. Namaste.